What's up, everybody? It's Norman Douglas with the Kansas Bankruptcy Center. You can find us at www.mybankruptcymeeting.com, and that website will allow you to schedule a free consultation with me so we can talk about your case or your situation and try to figure out what the best way to handle it will be. Like I said, today we're going to go over preference payments. Did I say that? If I did not, today we're going to talk about preference payments in a bankruptcy. What is a preference payment? Typically, a preference payment is when you make payments to regular unsecured creditors, payments to insiders. Generally, an insider is family member, close friend, something like that. The idea behind unsecured creditors, anyway, is that kind of everybody's treated equal, right? So Visa, MasterCard, Discover, whoever, they kind of get equal treatment within the bankruptcy. So if you are secured creditors, actually I should say house and vehicles, we still have to list those, but generally those are not considered preference payments as far as what I'm talking about today. So a preference payment to an unsecured creditor, for instance, would be if you make a payment or multiple payments in the amount of $600 and more or more within the 3 months I cannot talk today. If you make a payment or multiple payments that equal $600 or more within the 3 months leading up to your bankruptcy, we would have to list those. If you have made a insider payment within a year, then we would have to disclose and list that. So what are these payments? So for instance, you borrow $1,500 from mom and dad or brother or something to buy something, to do whatever. And then over the year before you file bankruptcy, you pay that money back to them. That would be a preference payment. If you owe Discover Card $1,500 or $700 and you pay them off 3 months before you file bankruptcy, but you don't really pay anybody else, that would be considered a preference payment. So how is that handled and why is it important? Because the trustee in your bankruptcy can try to get that money back. They can go after Discover Card or whoever you made the preference payment to and say, hey, Discover, they made a preference payment to you. We want that money back. Generally, Discover would give them that money or whoever the creditor is. If they don't comply, then the trustee can sue them and recover the money that way. That's really not a big issue when it comes to the debtor, really. It doesn't really affect your situation because the trustee is the one who's going to those creditors and trying to recover that money. What does affect you, though, is when you make a preference payment to an insider. So if you pay family member back that $1,500 within a year before you filed bankruptcy, the trustee can go after family member to recover that $1,500. In some situations, they can, or they will allow you to pay that $1,500 right after your bankruptcy is filed if you get the money somehow. Generally, you can pay that $1,500 in for them, but the trustee could sue your family member to recover that $1,500 or that $10,000 or that $5,000 or whatever that number is in the year before you filed. That makes it a little bit bigger deal, right? Because if your family member loans you $3,000 to help you out 12 months ago, 11 months ago, and you've been paying them back, that's a problem because you're going to owe that money into the estate, basically. So typically what we recommend is that, you don't pay those family members back. And technically, if you owe them money, you should list them as a creditor in your bankruptcy. The ways to avoid those issues are that you can basically wait for the year to pass since you've made the last payment to them, and then that way, it's not a preference payment because you made it more than a year ago. Loud motorcycle. Like I said, in some jurisdictions, you can pay yourself. The debtor can pay the trustee so their family member doesn't have to pay it. Or you could also wait till your bankruptcy is kind of over and you could maybe come up with the money by selling a non-exempt asset and paying that family member back if they did have to pay, something like that. So that's kind of how a preference payment works. We kind of see it in all sorts of situations. I've seen it where, for instance, my brother owns a car and he also has the loan on the car, but I'm the one driving it. And I am paying my brother for his car payment. basically, that's kind of a little bit different, but basically I'm paying his debt and he's the one getting the benefit. That could be considered a preference payment. Again, if I'm paying my family members back loans that they've given me and not paying my creditors, then that would be considered a preference payment. So there's lots of little sticky issues in bankruptcy, and of course we just try to kind of touch on the kind of top level problems or top level things that we see, just to kind of give you an idea, because you don't want to file a bankruptcy and then learn that, oh hey, I paid my parents back 12 grand in the last year and now they or you owe 12 grand into the bankruptcy estate. That does not really help anyone. So call a bankruptcy attorney if you're thinking about filing bankruptcy, so we can kind of walk you through this stuff and identify any issues like that could be a problem with your bankruptcy. We want it to go smoothly. We want it to go as smooth and as quick as it can be done. That way minimizing any negative effects on you once you file. So that's all I have today. Like I said, Kansas Bankruptcy Center, I'm Norman Douglas. You can go to mybankruptcymeeting.com and schedule the free consultation. You can also visit kansasbankruptcycenter.com as well. That's our normal website. And, you can go through some frequently asked questions and stuff there if you have any other issues. And if you have any questions, like I said, go schedule a free consultation and we will try to help as much as we can. Thank you and have a great day.